That's on. That's on. Give me your trademark. That's his and mine is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fully Lacking Podcast, episode 32, where a couple ADHD dudes and their producer try to get through life. My name is Drew, your host. This is your host, Anthony, and behind the boards, behind the lens, the third leg of the tripod, producer Lisa. We are your Fully Lacking team. Now listen, I need you guys to follow suit here. This is new for us. So next couple episodes, you're going to hear stories from producer Lisa. Me and Anthony are going to be doing our thing. But if you have a story, if you have a news story, if you have an article that you think we should talk about, send it in. Find us on Instagram, wherever you listen to us. Text us. We don't care. Producer Lisa, what is your story of the day? We need to hear it. What is happening today?
Okay, guys. So we have a moral dilemma here. A man has been cheating on his wife for 5 years. This man and his wife have been together for a total of 17.
Ooh. It's a big chunk.
The whole family has known for 3 years, except the brother. He just found out.
Okay.
Does he tell his sister-in-law that his brother is cheating?
You take this one first, Drew.
He absolutely doesn't tell his sister-in-law. He tells his brother. We all know you got to figure this out. That's, I think, what you should do.
How would you go about that conversation with your brother?
So my brother would never do that, right?
Hypothetically.
My brother from another mother here, Anthony, might find himself in a predicament like that.
We're not putting that jacket on me.
I'm just playing chop, 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 chop. Just kidding. I would sit down with him. I'd be like, hey, dude, first of all, everybody's known but me. Now, I guess this is a detail that we didn't know. Does the brother know everyone knows? Like the brother that's cheating, does he know everyone knows?
I think so, because...
Oh my God, that's crazy. So my answer would be you sit down and you say, hey, brethren, you probably shouldn't cheat on your wife. If you find the need to cheat on your wife, just leave your wife. And you got to say something. You got to do something. And then maybe give the ultimatum like, nah. You got to have your brother do it. There's no way. Yeah, that's a hard one.
Okay, but what if he doesn't tell her?
Yeah, I don't know.
So you would start off the conversation like Hulk Hogan is what I'm hearing. Hey,
Listen
brother.
here, brother. Taking my shirt off.
Yeah, dripping through. You keep doing this to my sister-in-law.
Yep. Anyways, so what's your answer? Rico Suave?
I mean, I don't believe in having that conversation.
Yeah, you just let it ride.
A lot of the family's been knowing about this for years.
Okay.
And I mean, it kind of sucks he's late on the train, but you know.
We're not talking about him. We're talking about you. If you were in this situation, what would you do? That's why it's interesting. Because I just put myself in the situation. It's hard for me to say I wouldn't tell my sister-in-law, but I would definitely bring it up to my brother-in-law first. I mean, my brother first.
I think I would just set it up for him to get caught, you know?
Oh, shit.
Slip random phone numbers into his pocket, put some lipstick on the collar of a button-up shirt.
You're
you know what I mean?
Dude. You're devious. He's devious. Well,
let's take care of business.
You heard it first on the Fully Lacking podcast. One of us is really into brother trust. The other one is into
destruction
of the brother. So what would you do? Put it in the comments. I don't know. Swipe up on a story, whatever. Let us know what you would do. Dude, it's episode 32.
Have you ever been in a position where you've known someone close to you is cheating?
Oh, I've been in positions before, buddy. Yes, I have been in a position where I knew somebody close to me was cheating. Some would say I may have had a hand in it. And it's not my proudest moment, right? But I think seeing that situation and being a part of it, in a sense, one way or another, I would avoid it at all costs moving forward.
What was your relationship with the woman? The person who's getting cheated on, I presume. I guess I'm assuming it's a male you knew who was doing the cheating.
The person that was involved in what's Jada's word? Entanglement. Yeah.
I don't think you're answering my question.
Okay, what are you asking?
How close were you with the woman at hand?
Not
the partner, the official partner. Not. Do you think that gives you some buffer and like, you know?
If they were like my best friend, that would make it very difficult. Like if the person getting cheated on was my best friend.
But not a guarantee?
It's hard, dude. Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm potentially just gonna ruin a family, I guess, right? What are you over there bobbleheading about, dude? Producer Alicia's just over there shaking her head.
I'm not saying anything.
Oh, okay. Well, your head is.
Are you saying like you're not going to have that conversation, not saying anything?
I'm not gonna. This particular situation that he is talking about, I don't know. I became very good friends with one of them.
What would you do, Lisa? Like in the brother-in-law situation, not the intensely personal one we just edited out. What would you do in that position? Because you don't have a brother. And it would be more like a brother-in-law. And let's say it's your sister.
But yeah, I have a sister.
She's
you know about
for her sister. She's 100% writing for her sister.
I am writing for my sister, but I feel like it's different with a man cheating on a woman and a woman cheating on a man. Oh. I do.
Why?
Why is that?
I just feel like it is. I don't know.
Well, that sounds like something to be worked out in therapy. Yeah.
See you Monday. No, I'm just playing.
No, I mean it's difficult. I mean it's been a while. I was a very young man helping like a high school friend.
Oh, it's been a long
I think I mentioned
while.
it last episode with the friend.
It's been a long while.
It's been a very long while.
Since you were a young man.
Since I was, all right.
I'm just
And
kidding.
also since I was in that position. I think I've matured morally since then. But, you know, you really have to juggle relationships there. Because here's always the predicament that you have to consider.
They work out.
Yeah. Or
ends.
he doesn't believe, or the person doesn't believe you.
Ooh.
And then they both cut you off because now you ratted him out and you're threatening their relationship.
That 100% happened to me in a sense. I rode for one side and then it ended up healing itself. Cheating no more. The party that was involved is not involved in my life as much anymore. So that could happen too, right?
I mean, it's interesting discussing this because we've had many conversations about like having hands and stuff. And I feel like I feel like having that conversation is really a big hand in that. It's like let that play out how it's supposed to, because you're becoming this like wild card in the mix.
What if you're a bridge for the cheating though?
Well, if you're a bridge for the cheating, then it goes. I mean, that's whole no snitching, right? You're an accomplice.
You die with a lie, baby.
But hopefully, we're not being a bridge to the cheating. You know, I know.
Not again.
All right.
Okay.
I've lived a life. What?
But question, as the wife,
Butt question. That's weird. All right. What do we need to know about butts?
as the wife, would you be extra hurt because you feel like the people that you call family are also betraying you?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, but it really isn't. I think there has to be some compassion there. They have to understand, or you have to understand that they are in a difficult position and they should have some choice in how they go about it.
That's okay. So you're saying like, if I was cheating on you, right? And Anthony knew about it and then you found out about it, but Anthony didn't tell you, but you found out Anthony knew.
No disrespect to Anthony, but that's not what I mean. I mean, like if Aunt Barbara knew and
Oh, dang. She says you're not on the family tree.
No.
Yikes.
No.
No disrespect to him, but he doesn't belong here.
Hey, yo, you can't sit with us, ass energy. Calm down.
That's
Anthony, you are family.
I'm going to get a
dog.
separate table at Thanksgiving,
Jeez
right?
Louise, lemon squeeze, please. Can you give him a freaking break?
That's not what I'm saying. We're talking about this situation. So to mirror the
Kind of
situation,
what you just said a little bit.
no, to mirror this situation, it would be like Aunt Barbara and Uncle Sal knowing that you were doing something like that and not.
Oh, you're talking. Okay. Yeah, they wouldn't. I don't know what they would do.
I think Aunt Barbara would tell you how it is. She'd be
Yeah,
like,
but
get your shit together.
She probably wouldn't tell you.
I don't know.
50-50, she would do Drew's Calling of the Week. No, I'm just playing. And Barbara, real quick, if I was cheating on Lisa, would you or would you not snitch? Go, you're on air. She'd hang up immediately.
That'd be hilarious.
Have you met my Aunt Barbara?
I haven't.
You'll love her. You won't meet her anytime soon, but you'd love her if you did.
You can if you want.
Yep, Sunday.
It'd have to be a trip.
It's on Sunday.
Gotcha.
And then another on Thursday.
We did have a nice trip, though.
Dude, talk about a trip. So we went to Ruidoso. Me and producer Lisa got there on Friday. We rented a little cabin, you know what I mean? We went half-seas on an Airbnb, us, and we got there on Friday, and it was good bonding time for me and Lisa, right? Me and producer Lisa are always a work in progress, I think, is all healthy relationships are. And so it was good to add to our pot with being there together. And we were active in reading the Bible.
What's going on here?
Hold on.
What is this weird phrasing? We were, okay.
I got to get this out. So we were active in bonding. And so we didn't realize how cold that house was at the time. I woke up at like 2 or 3 a.m. and it was like 20 degrees in this house. So I obviously had a hard time. What are you doing?
Your producer Lisa's over here having hallucinations.
Yeah, she is. Hey, you know what I mean? Anyways.
I don't.
So I wake up at 2, it's freezing. Like 20 degrees in that joint. I was like, what the heck? And so I ended up going back to sleep. This woman is wrapped up in every blanket in that house, so she was fine.
Including yours, because that's how it works whenever you're sleeping with a partner, 100%, right?
Yeah. And so we wake up the next morning, and it's still like 40 degrees in the house. Like the thermometer in the house has a 50, and the dial's like dipped the opposite way.
It's like on cartoons. It's like frozen.
Yeah, it was so cold. And so we call the people, the host. They bring out a maintenance person. He comes once, he comes twice, he comes 3 times, and he strikes out. Couldn't fix it. So like, hey, we're going to refund the whole stay. I was like, cool. They're like, but you got to leave. And I was like, oh, shit. So I call you, and I'm like, hey, I got to find a new cabin, this, that, and the third. Tell me the one we found after that long-winded but not so long-winded intro to this story. Tell me that spot we stayed in was not incredible.
It was nice. Had a nice view. Just very comfy setting. Had a weird stairway leading up to it.
Oh, it was a long one too.
It was warm.
It was incredibly warm. Yeah. And so we got there. Anthony met us at the new Airbnb. We checked in, got a little comfy, and then we went downtown Ruidoso. What did we do over there? What do you think? Like, how explain it to the viewers and the listeners and the watchers and the seekers and the
midnight tokers.
Hey.
So, the obvious standout is for me is the Oxygen Lounge or bar, or I don't know. I'm too old for
I don't even think. I think it just was
2 couches.
There was a lounge in there on top of like a all natural store.
Yeah.
It had rocks and stuff to put out for the moonlight.
And then it had these different colored containers that looked like icy machines.
What did you think? Use a conspiracy? Like it wasn't really.
I don't know. I still low key think, because I'm very skeptical of a lot of the natural stuff.
Holistic? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. And so you have these different colored liquids, like kind of bubbling up like a witch's cauldron, and these knobs that personally for me seem like placebo buttons, where it's like, okay, now I'm gonna turn this one on, and it's probably just a Febreze container just adding some extra sense to what we were breathing in. I don't know, and I might seem like a grumpy hater, but it just didn't register. But we did it for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, and we breathed in, inhaled a bunch of different things. One was for anxiety, one was for recovery, one was for something else with an E at the end. Like there was a bunch of stuff. I do want to say that it felt, I don't know, I felt better after. It might have been a placebo effect. It might have been like a sugar pill of the nose, but not to be confused with booger sugar. That's a whole different thing. But maybe it was, you know what I mean? We got to chop that? Okay. I don't know. It could have been a placebo effect. It could have been like a sugar pill method. I don't know. But I felt like when I walked out, I felt better. I really did. I don't think that was a highlight of my night, right? I had 2 highlights of this trip, not including the cabin the night before. Shout out producer Lisa. I really appreciate it. We were in a place called The Perfect Gift, and it had a little bar and it had like custom drinks and stuff. And so this is a loaded story. First of all, shout out to Trisha Roberts. She said to go there. We went there. Thank you so much. She is a devout listener of our podcast. I think she's the one that gets us to the 7-minute mark. So we appreciate you for that. But it's like a little store and it has like knickknacks and cool little gifts and boards and everything you can think of. The first part of the story is when we ordered our drinks. Lisa ordered a mule, old-fashioned mule or something.
It's the perfect mule.
The perfect mule. I ordered the perfect Bloody Mary. And then our buddy Anthony here ordered the perfect old fashioned. When I heard him say old fashioned, I was like, dang, okay. That's a tough drink. That's a hard drink.
I got to be real. It sounded like a manly drink, you know?
It
sounded like something Harvey Specter would order. You know what I mean?
It's, yeah, they drink scotch or whiskey, yeah.
And so because there's been, times with many friends, including you, where I order a drink and it comes out and it has a little tropical umbrella, shout out to like 4 episodes ago. And I just get clowned on for it.
It was a daiquiri, brother.
Anywho.
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of make up for those times, clearly, as a male ego defines me. And that was disgusting.
Yeah, and when we say disgusting in comparison, my drink had an asparagus in it. A pickled asparagus at that.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Did you just singular say asparagus?
Is that what you're supposed to say? It's not asparagus? Wait, why are you?
I'm really hoping you're doing this for the pod because we're going to have a serious conversation if you believe that.
What is a singular? Wait, hold on.
This can't be real.
Asparagus is not a thing?
I mean,
there's not a singular way to say asparagus?
No, it's like a
Google that. Producer Lisa, Google it. She has that painful.
No, this doesn't need to be Googled.
How do you say asparagus?
Asparagus. It doubles up.
It's asparagus.
Singular.
Yes.
So like.
It's like money.
So like beer. Like I've drank 5 beer.
No, because beer has plural to it.
I know. I saw that on a golf video. It made me laugh. And his friend was like, "Are you serious right now?" Kind of what you just did. I will not lie to you. I know how to follow my sword. I was serious. I thought it was asparagus. I thought that was singular for asparagus.
I'm blocking you after this pod.
No, for real. Come on. That's a common misconception. So it's not asparagus. It's asparagus. So there was a single asparagus. That sounds fucking weird.
Well,
are you sure it's not a single asparagus? I'm not lying.
You are a buffoon.
I am not.
You are
What is a buffoon? Is it a monkey?
Yeah.
No, that's a baboon.
Now we're both buffoons.
I know. Who made up the word buffoon? Producer Lisa, can you look that up? So there was pickled asparagus, and yet his drink was the grossest one. I thought it was tasty. You gave me a little drink. I thought it was good.
I've never really had like bourbon like that.
Yeah, bourbon's tough though. I liked it because it had a smoky but sweet taste. You didn't like it at all.
I didn't like it at all.
That was part of my favorite part. But we were sitting there and it was visibly empty. Like there was nobody else in it but us. And the 99-year-old bartender who had gave me a little lip at the beginning of it, by the way. I was like, dang, you just bartend? She goes, well, I work here, so someone's gonna serve the drinks.
In her defense, that was an odd question. Like
I was like I was gonna run it. I was riffing. I was gonna be like, oh, what other bar do you bartend at? You know what I mean? She was clearly old, like 90, like old. And so we had already had that, like that interaction, me and her. So I feel like she had a little shade towards me. So I wanted to pay her a compliment. So I was like, hey, Betsy. I'm assuming her name was Betsy, Betty, Bartholomew, something with a B in it, right? I was like, hey, you guys usually busy? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, it looks like it. That's not what I meant, though. Like, I didn't mean, oh, it looks like it. Like, you know, like being facetious. Like, I meant it. Like, yeah, you could tell because of all the cool things in the bar. But how it came off was like, yeah, fucking right. You guys are probably never busy.
I'm sorry. That logic just doesn't add up as I hear it out loud.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I know.
You say it's busy because of all the items that she's selling. How does that make it a busy store?
Just because it looks like there's like a lot of attraction to it. There's probably people hand and foot in there.
Did you pull a muscle in trying to reach for that compliment? Because that was shaky.
It wasn't my best. That was one of my highlights though, because I was truly embarrassed. It's very few that I'm truly embarrassed. And I was truly embarrassed because I hurt her feeling. I know I did. I say feeling because she's so old. She probably only has one left.
You're not remorseful at all. You've been digging on her age since you started the story.
She should have given you that lip. You understand me?
And I don't know if this is true or not, but from my perspective, on the way out, you're pretty passive aggressive because like you're like, have a good day. Or she said like, have a good day. And you're like, mm-hmm. And just kept on walking.
No, I didn't.
You did, swear to God.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
You were just on one that entire time in the store. I don't think there's much of a moral high ground to be found. And producer Lisa, I was low key like, I can't believe he's saying this. She's 3 feet away. Producer Lisa, I don't know if this was your experience with Drew in that little knick-knack store.
This is like a bodega. It's like a shop.
I was looking around. I wasn't sitting with you guys.
You were okay. Now there's more context to be given here, because you were a little sauced up before we even got there.
Yeah, Lisa had been drinking all day.
So she was just wondering where she was at.
Yeah, she drank Topo Chico before we left the first cabin. You were drinking, and I remember when I looked at her and I realized because one of her eyes was looking in one direction and her face was looking in the other. Lisa has Coke bottle glasses, like we've discussed. So when she's drunk, you could tell she's drunk. Like her fucking eyes go like this and shit. And they're big like a pug. And so it's like, she would never pass a DUI test if she was ever pulled over while drinking and driving. Good for her because she doesn't drink and drive. She's safe. You were pretty sloshed.
But I did win $200.
$195.
Close enough.
She did win that.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it was crazy because we walk in, we put 20 in that little thing and you're watching it with us. You're like, oh yeah, this is cool. She won $35 off $20. And then we go to the sports bar. My brother and my sister-in-law are there. We sit. I ordered a drink. Stella. I was drinking Stella's all night. You ordered a drink, Crown and Coke. Lisa ordered a drink, Mule. And we're sitting there talking. And Lisa goes, "You've never gambled?" And that's all I heard. And my sister-in-law goes, "No." She goes, "Oh, that's it. Let's go." And so I gave her a little money, a little cash. And she came back maybe like 20 minutes later, 15 minutes later. She goes, "That's it, I'm done." And I was like, dang, what the heck? She must have blown this money. Nah, dude. She came back with almost the original amount of money she had plus a ticket for $195. That was a win. It paid. It was cool. And then I think Anthony ordered 2 meals.
A meal and an appetizer.
How many wings?
6.
Oh, yeah, that's an app for sure.
Yeah.
If it was like 10, that'd be a meal.
Yeah, it was a lot of food. I'm not going to deny that.
Burger.
That bison burger was delicious.
He had a bison burger. That's manly as shit. He said the old fashioned wasn't enough. Give me a bison burger.
Give me your manliest meal.
And they're like, "How do you want it cooked?" He said, "Barely dead." I was like, dang. Dang. Even the woman that was serving us was like, "Oh my God, I do declare." I was like, where the fuck did that woman come from? She's a
1700s.
Yeah, it was crazy. But why were we at the sports bar, Anthony?
We were at the sports bar for the UFC event, which number I cannot remember.
UFC 309, I believe.
309.
We got there at 5:30. We watched the early prelims, the prelims, and the main card all the way through. I was right on my parlay, remember? Except one.
Yep.
I didn't do it. I had a parlay. It would have paid out a good couple $100. And Bo Nichols. Why did I call him Bo Miller? Oh, because Jim Miller was on there. Bo Nichols was fighting, I think, Paul Craig. And Paul Craig is an incredible submission artist off his back. And that's why Bo Nichols, who is an Olympic level wrestler, did not take him down. So it messed up my parlay. But everybody else won. Jim Miller won. I want to say the girl won. I can't remember her name. And then my dog, the guy I lost it for, John Jones won.
You are forgetting who was the second.
Oh,
fight.
That was Chandler versus Oliveira. That was a
crazy
banger, dude.
It's crazy.
That was a banger. All 5 rounds. These guys, it was Chandler Oliveira 2. The first one ended in fireworks with Chandler getting knocked out in the second round after completely dominating the first round. So this fight, I was very excited for. I think the whole fight community was excited for it because Michael Chandler is a fucking animal, right? And I say it like that because that's how you sell it. That guy, best physique in the UFC. Anthony got me publicly. Can we talk about that, or is that a little risque?
No, we could.
I was sitting there, I was like, Anthony, this dude has the best physique in the UFC, period. One of the best physiques in fighting. He was like, I smashed. And I was like, yeah, me too. Wait. And like, he was all, and it was a hilarious moment. He got me good. But nonetheless, Michael Chandler is an animal. His physique is crazy. Charles Oliveira is an amazing striker, a world, like, I mean, just a pristine Brazilian jiu-jitsu master. Like, these guys make for such great fights, and that's exactly what it was. It was a great fight. Like, one round, one was getting hurt. The other round, the other one's getting hurt. But majority of the time, Oliveira was running the whole fight. Like, he was up 4 rounds.
Ground control time.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the 5th round, that's when it got spooky. And Chandler looked like he was going to knock him out. And then it went to the ground. And remember, he had him on his back, and he was like jumping.
Oh, that was so exciting to watch.
It was crazy. It was just a good fight card. Like, Dana White doesn't miss, bro. But I think that, I guess in the shadow of that was the night before when it was Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson's cheeks. That was a tough fight to watch, dude. It's like 2 complete sides of the spectrum here, right? John Jones defends his title against the greatest heavyweight of all time, Stipe Miocic.
And Tyson defends his cognitive abilities against a Disney star.
And YouTube boxer Jake Paul. The crazy thing about this, right, is like Mike Tyson's training videos versus Mike Tyson on fight night were like night and day. Like Iceland and Greenland, right? Like it made no sense. What? Greenland is icy, Iceland is green.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was all right. Well, now I'm a dumbass right now.
No,
continue.
No one knows. He looked old. He looked like a 58-year-old man with early signs of CTE. That sucked. Because if there's anything about Mike Tyson is incredible. He's a loving guy. He's also a maniac. And the way that he balances them is awesome. And so I think as a fight fan, when I heard he was going to fight Jake Paul, who I believe is a good boxer, he's not a champion level boxer. He's a good boxer. He's better than a lot of boxers. But when I heard he was going to fight Mike Tyson, I was excited because Mike Tyson looks good in these videos for being 58. He boxed 4 years ago against Roy Jones Jr. I think that was that was the fight. And seeing him then, I was like, man, he still has his legs under him. Like, Mike can still move. And so
maybe that's the issue.
Yeah.
Is evaluating him on his own terms with not a younger person to compare him against.
That's true.
Leads, it's like, oh, like Mike Tyson's boxing pretty good for a 58-year-old. Not like Mike Tyson's boxing at a level that's comparative to a much younger, not decorated fighter.
Younger's an understatement.
Half his age?
Dude, he's 31.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's a 31-year difference.
Oh.
How old are you?
37.
It's almost the same age gap between you and Jedediah.
I would wreck him. Wait. What? I think I could take him on.
Jedediah would absolutely give you the handles, bro.
I've seen him give you the business. I don't want that.
You see, he keeps his hand tucked too. What are you gonna say, producer Lisa?
I was gonna say we could set it up,
dude.
Can we get the big giant gloves, like and the inflatable setup?
Whatever you need to feel comfortable in there against that kid.
Because I'm looking to still restore my manliness. I've had the drink, the food. Now it's just beating up on a
child,
7-year-old.
On a 7-year-old. You guys want to see Jedediah versus Anthony? Put in the comments below. Mike Tyson shouldn't have been in that ring. Jake Paul has no business talking about, I beat Mike Tyson. Bro, what a joke.
But John Jones definitely has some weight to saying he beat, how do you say his name?
Stipe Miocic.
I'm not going to repeat that. Yeah. But that guy.
You can call him Stipe.
He did that spinning back kick.
Spinning heel kick to the ribs.
Did you see that he practiced that 3 hours straight for like 3 months?
Yep. Taekwondo guy out of Albuquerque. He was with him for, I think, 3 or 6 months. And he practiced it for 3 hours every time they were there. Bro, that's crazy. John Jones, I might sound like Dana White here, right? John Jones is the greatest athlete of all time. He is the greatest combat sports athlete of all time, better yet. He is retired. He is dethroned. He is beat up, for simple terms, some of the legends, if not all of the legends in his division that built the foundation for what the UFC is today. Rampage Jackson beat. Rashad Evans beat. Who else did he beat? Lyoto Machida beat. Dude, the list goes on. Dominic Reyes, he beat DC twice. And it wasn't even hard. He beat Alex Gustafsson twice. This guy has ran through people. He literally in one fight tore his opponent's ACLs and MCLs in both knees. John Jones is the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. There's something that's very interesting that's going on in the fight community right now. And obviously, I'm a much bigger fan of it than Anthony is, but Anthony's been getting into it lately. He was screaming with me at the sports bar. Yeah. I think I scared the guy next to me because when John Jones, I was absolutely raging out. But there's this weird stipulate. People are assuming that John Jones is ducking this new guy and he's an interim champion. His name is Tom Aspinall. I think that's how you say it. Listen, Tom Aspinall is 15-3. He's beaten some people, but even less than that, few, but some ranked opponents that already had spotty records, right? They're saying he should fight him next. Everybody wants to fight him. Everybody wants that fight, they're saying, right? On the other hand, there's this guy, Alex Pereira, who has done insane stuff in the last year and a half, right? He is a 2-division champion, not only in UFC, but in Pride and all that stuff too. He dethroned Israel Adesanya. He went up and he also won the light heavyweight championship. He's done all these things. They're talking about that being the next fight. My opinion is Tommy needs to wait. Tom Aspinall needs to wait. And this is why. This fight, Tom Aspinall, does nothing for John Jones other than hype. That's it. This is why I say it. Tom Aspinall is 27 years old. Tom Aspinall is 35 pounds heavier than John Jones is. They are literally saying, we finally found someone that could beat John. He's heavier, he's younger, he's bigger. You need to fight this guy because you're ducking him. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? John Jones has done more for the UFC than anybody other than Conor McGregor, right?
I feel like fighters reach a point, even in boxing, where they reach this level of stature where they're in a tough position of either maintaining their legacy through fighting the best of the best, or they're being asked to beat any new up-and-comer with any sort of potential. Like, I feel like that's what's been hurting Canelo, too, is like, you know, people saying he's ducking David Benavidez. I believe that's his name. Yeah. But Benavidez is definitely the name that always comes up. Yeah. You get the little duck emojis, and it sounds like, you know, John Jones.
The same thing.
Who's crazily 37 years old. It inspires me.
Almost 38. Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, if John Jones is rocking stuff like that at 37 and I'm 37.
He's been on top for 16 years. John Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history. Bro, there's just accolades. I think that's what people have a hard time understanding. And look, I'm a fat dude in a podcast studio in New Mexico, right? I probably don't have any business speaking on this, but bro, you can't just be a casual fan and say the greatest of all time is ducking somebody who's coming up right now. That's insane. There's been so many people who are supposed to be John Jones, and he is still undefeated. 16 years he's reigned supreme, dog. All I'm saying is that guy's in a position to pick who he fights and how much he gets paid to fight. You don't get to say, oh, you should fight him next. Nah, dude. We're past that. You would never in a million years tell Conor McGregor who he should fight.
But fans will.
Yeah, but Conor McGregor's going to fight whoever the fuck he wants to fight. Yeah, right? Yeah. It's the same, and they're gonna sit back and watch it. They're gonna buy it more than they've ever bought a fight before. it's the same thing with John Jones. People just aren't realizing that yet because of his troublesome background and all this stuff. You were talking about the interview. That girl was like, so you went to school for what? And he was like, criminal justice. And she goes, how ironic. It's true. It's true. And I think that if he didn't have that troubling background and he was the person that he is now, nobody would even wink an eye. They'd be like, dude, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. But at the end of the day, it was the same thing with Floyd Mayweather. It was the same thing with Michael Jordan. It's the same thing with Tom Brady. It's the same thing with all these greats. They just want to see them lose. Point blank period. They want to see how they handle it. But guess what? MJ left, and he had 6 rings. Tom Brady left. He had 7 rings, I think. Floyd Mayweather is still undefeated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and John Jones is probably going to go out the same way. I believe that he beats Pereira, and I believe that he would absolutely put the handles on Tom if he fought Aspinall.
It was electrifying to be in a sports bar with a bunch of John Jones supporters.
Crazy.
And just seeing how that played out. Like you said, I'm not the biggest UFC fan.
Yeah.
But being able to be a part of the energy is enough, you know?
It's like a dopamine hit, low key. You know what I mean?
Love the dopamine.
I know you do. And you've been getting some lately. I'm proud of you. And I mean dopamine hits. My man's been stepping out a little bit, feeling himself as he should. As he should. And if you guys don't know enough about Anthony here, we have a short that's going to be on YouTube pretty soon. That's going to talk about everything you need to know. So make sure that you subscribe to that channel. But
that's interesting because I've been all over socials with my stuff lately, but I just don't feel like the fans have been all over socials for us.
Are you saying that you want our fans all over us, bro?
It would be nice.
I really wish they would too.
If I could, I'd put the Sarah Mclaughlin music, like with the dogs that need to be adopted.
Okay, you
and
do
then
it.
put I'll draw some cage over our face.
Do it and I'll sing it. You ready?
Okay. I was really hoping you knew the words and at least a better melody.
That's all I
Because
got.
you'd really hype me up, and the bar was super low,
What did you expect?
and you just managed to dig right under that.
What did you
So
expect?
I was expecting. I mean, you have some musical talent, and I don't know, just something more than drunk humming, I guess, would be what I expected.
I don't know that song. In the arms of an angel.
Just we can stop. We can stop. But they should start
Yes, they
following
should.
us.
Yep. Where?
Hit us on IG.
IG, baby.
Hit us on the TikTok.
TikToks.
Hit us on the Facebook.
On the Facebook.
And we got to go to the YouTube.
The YouTube.
I'm getting old because I'm adding the to things
I love it.
unnecessarily.
The Walmart, the Target, the Sonic.